Chapter 8. The Truth. But yeah, we know it was a defensive strike. Right, what in the world? Has an elephant escaped and made its way to the second floor? It sounds as though it is coming directly from above me, but that is the storage room. Okay, I'm slightly terrified that we're going to find a hanging Elizabeth. Is there a way to run? No, shift just zooms you in all the way. Double-clicking doesn't do anything. That's disappointing. It's not been closed properly. To the storeroom. Why would Monsieur Sterling be in here clattering around in the dead of night? Okay, that's slightly better. Archibald is up in the middle of the night making some amount of noise. I must find out the extent of his behaviour. Okay, that's the extent of that. Cool. Anything else? No. Okay. Archibald.
Monsieur Sterling.
Oh, Detective. I was just...
Please. I eagerly await to hear what reason you give for being in the storage room at this hour.
A butler's job is never...
I am no fool, monsieur. You have spun enough stories this week.
Oh, that's where the secret room is. You can see the scratches.
Honestly, Detective, you don't trust anyone.
Correct.
And with good reason.
My patience is all but run out. What are you doing here?
I've been thinking about my time with the family.
I often think on fond memories, but it does not take me to a storage room in the middle of the night.
There are many memories held within these walls. I just wanted to see them again.
Monsieur Sterling sounds as though he has plans on leaving the house. Sounded as though you were moving furniture in here.
I didn't realize the noise I was making.
Obviously. Were you preoccupied looking for another of the Major's medals?
Of course not. I already explained.
No, monsieur. You attempted to dupe me again into believing one of your stories.
Please, Detective. I know you know how it ended up in my possession. I was just trying to get some extra money together to send home. I can't lose this job. If Lady Van den Bosch found out...
Theft of a medal would be the very least of your problems.
You have done nothing but deceive and abuse your position in the house.
Deceive? I'm sorry that I lied to you about the medal.
Even when confronted, Monsieur Sterling still remains steadfast, refused to acknowledge what he has done.
Would you care to explain the fake telephone call? It was purely for my benefit, no?
Why would I fake a telephone call?
To mask the time of death.
The same reason that Mademoiselle Rihanna dressed in the Major's jacket in the snow. To allow not only the guests, but me, to believe the Major was still alive.
I didn't kill him, Detective.
I know, monsieur. But I also know that you helped the one that did to cover their tracks.
It wasn't like that. We were just trying to help. She had no part in it.
Both you and Mademoiselle Rihanna risked your freedom to help Elizabeth.
You never let on. How long have you known it was her?
Monsieur, I am Detective Hercule Poirot. I only show my hand when I deem it necessary.
You will be taking her away then.
She will stand trial for what she has done.
I think this is kind of why I prefer Sherlock Holmes in a lot of things, is because he's not attached to any kind of legal force. He can just be like, no. No, I'm not gonna hand this over. This is, I think it's because he sees himself distinct from the police, who are agents of the law, and more as an agent of justice, which is distinct. Sadly, sometimes what is just and what is lawful are different. She will stand trial for what she has done.
But you don't know the full story. She is just a servant in this house. If she is arrested, that will be the end for her.
If Mademoiselle was only protecting herself, as you both have claimed, she will surely be found innocent.
Oh, you naive fool. Oh, yes, the rich and powerful aren't going to abuse their position. Oh, no. You've still not explained what you were doing in here.
The Major's military storage box.
The one that stored his medals.
Amongst other things, yes.
And those other things are?
I had to protect her. If you found it when searching the study, you would have carted her off then and there.
Whatever it is you have hidden, it will not remain that way for much longer.
Monsieur Sterling is obviously hiding something. I should perhaps conduct my own search for it instead of relying on his cryptic messages.
I need a moment.
No, it's clearly here. You've got the scratches. Okay. One of the many saint carvings from around the house, abandoned in a box. Why is this saint carving here? Yes. Okay, the rug has been lifted. Oh, because it was here. Okay. Attached carving. Hidden room.
The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together.
The detached carving may relate to a door in this room. That would explain Archibald's presence. Accessible within the storage room. Hid items.
Some would say a lucky guess. I would say a moment of genius.
Archibald must have hidden items in the secret room. I presume this exists within here, somewhere. Inspect the storeroom. Aha, a hidden room. It seems there are more secrets in this house to discover. The military service box. The Major's military service box contains letters and keepsakes. And what's in them? So what was he trying to hide then? Expensive lighter. Expensive looking lighter. It looks to have, unfortunately, been through a war. Come, my little guy Seldes. I believe we already know something about this mystery. There's his picture again. Another letter. The last will and testament of the late Viscount. It seems he truly loved Angeline. Last will and testament. I declare that I, Viscount Edwin van den Bosch, am of sound mind. The last will expresses my wishes without undue influence or duress. In the event of my death, I hereby appoint my wife, Cassandra van den Bosch, as the executor of the van den Bosch estate, and I leave the remaining wealth held in the van den Bosch name to my only daughter, Angeline van den Bosch. Any outstanding debts, expenses of my last illness, funeral expenses, and administration costs are to be paid from the Van den Bosch account at the National Bank of Belgium. To my daughter, Angeline, you are the apple of my eye and the brightest star in the sky. Never allow your light to fade for even a moment. To my wife, Cassandra, thank you for the many joyous years. We have laughed, we have loved, and we have brought the most precious of gifts into this world together. I trust you will protect her and prepare her for a future full of opportunity and hope. Viscount Edwin van den Bosch. Monsieur Victor Rougeau et Petit, solicitors. The military knife. A prestigious-looking knife, likely belonging to the Major. Okay. Blood stains on the knife. Potential murder weapon.
I should not be surprised by my own skills.
I thought we'd already figured out that the military knife. The murder weapon has been found. Elizabeth must have used this in the study. Oh, okay. So these are the. Oh, right. So these are the things we have to expand this. Discharge under other than honourable conditions. Oh wow. So that means he's not a. He should not be a major then. This is okay. In consequence of crimes against humanity during a period of war, additional detail, while serving overseas, a number of prisoners of war were being held under the authority and supervision of Major Felix Hagen. While in his care, the prisoners were executed, an insubordinate act that disobeyed direct orders. I mean, that's kind of irrelevant, because that's still an illegal order, so he shouldn't have followed it. His actions have been deemed in violation of the British Army values and ethics, and consequently, Major Felix Hagen has been withdrawn from his position and will return to England. Major Felix Hagen is to renounce all responsibilities of his rank, return any and all uniform, and return to civilian life. So, he shouldn't be being called Major then. Okay. Pension due to be received in British Army will hereby revoked and any benefits to be stopped with immediate effect. Wow. That's... yeah. Dear Felix, how hoofing it is to hear from you after so long. Surprised to hear you have settled on the continent, although I recall you talking about a different caliber of woman over there. You're sorely missed at the George and Dragon. Would you believe Duncan still tends bar and still refers to himself as the king of the castle? One day we'll finally get committed. The rumours that you'd returned to South Africa, but after what we had seen and what we had to do, I knew you couldn't have. At your request, I've forwarded with this letter correspondence information for the remaining members of the battalion. I have no fear that they would be proud to follow you once more. I wait patiently for my orders. Yours faithfully, in death and glory, Lieutenant Roger Davies. If he's not an active member of the military, he shouldn't go by that rank. Mr. Outranks Lieutenant. It's weird. It's weird. Old friends dishonorably... No, I don't want that one. The major. Actually, the lighter. Oh, rose engraving. Rose engraving. No, because that's not recognised. Oh, that's the rose.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
This lighter must belong to the major. The army symbol all but confirms this, but don't I already have this in my possession? Right, okay, so there's a war map. Standard military box, an empty canteen. Military lighter to the major's lighter?
What a revelation.
The lighter I found in the military box is certainly the major's, meaning the other one is not. Okay. Talk to Archibald about a few things. I think we've fully gathered what we can. Back to the storeroom then. To Archibald. No dead Elizabeth, that's good.
There is no use lying.
Correct.
Anymore.
I found a lighter I assume belonged to the major yesterday.
He always had his regiment lighter that he received in the war on his person.
And yet, it was not his regiment emblem that was engraved on it.
Okay.
My father's. It must have fallen out of my pocket. You still have it, detective.
Monsieur, you have stashed evidence, manipulated a crime scene, obscured my investigation, and yet it is a lighter that you worry about most?
If it is my path to end up behind bars for what I have done, so be it. It is Elizabeth that you cannot allow to be locked up without the truth being told. I have heard how you fought for that young maid before. Fleurette, is it? I only ask that you do the same for Elizabeth.
Although the cases differ greatly in severity, I can envision the similarities in how Mademoiselle Elizabeth will be treated by those in positions of authority or social standing even before she is on trial. It is my oath as an officer of the law to uphold justice and fairness. No, it rarely is. Man, you uphold the law, you don't uphold justice. We've already discussed this. Mademoiselle must be given the chance to prove her innocence before the courts as any other suspect. Yeah, but is that fair at this time? Right. The murder weapon.
You found it.
Even the secret area that has been created here is not concealed enough to stop Detective Hercule Poirot.
You just saw me go into it!
I couldn't just leave it at the scene for you to find.
The Major was killed by his own knife. The knife that protected his life during the war would eventually be the one that ended it.
Probably not. Probably would have been more of a gun that helped him.
It was in his holster when he attacked her. He had hold of her arm. What else was she meant to use to get him off of her?
I cannot imagine the Major would have given his knife up easily. She must have been in close proximity to reach it. Perhaps he did attack her as he claims.
She didn't plan any of it, Detective. She was only defending herself.
That is what Mademoiselle told you?
She did, and I believe her. You think you knew the Major, but you had no idea. He was a monster and had more secrets than all of us combined.
That may be true, but that does not excuse what she has done.
Put yourself in her shoes for a minute. If a man like that had attacked me the way he did Lizzie, I would have done a lot worse to him.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth has told Mr. Sterling a version of events that suggests she was attacked by the Major. I struggle to believe that she would make such a story up, but then I also do not believe she could do such a thing as commit murder.
I need a moment.
Yeah, in which case she wasn't committing murder. You're not paying attention, Poirot. We know it was a defensive strike, which rules out murder. Do you know nothing? The major's open window. Archibald was in the garden. Connection?
Things are beginning to become clearer.
If the only thing I found was Archibald's lighter, he must have collected something else. What else did Archibald collect from the garden? Cover up? No.
Come, my little grey set.
Oh, is that where the knife was? Potential... what? There we go. Archibald dropped the murder weapon from the window, collected it, then hid it in the secret room. More conversation with Archibald.
There is no use lying anymore.
It was you that I saw in the garden that night.
When you asked me yesterday about seeing someone out there, I thought the
Oh, I
game was-
commented on his arm. I commented that his arm, the way his arm was the same way as the shadow. Ah. Yeah, I noticed this.
That does not explain what you were doing out there.
When Lizzie took me to the study, the knife was still in the Major's chest, and I knew I had to get rid of it. I dropped it out of the window, knowing no one would be going outside. It was fine for the time being, but I couldn't risk it being found when the snow melted.
So you collected it under the cover of darkness and stowed it away in here where you thought no one would find it.
After your questioning in the pantry, I knew you were onto something, and I couldn't leave it here.
And where did you plan on moving it to?
Honestly, I don't know.
Collecting the item and hiding it to save Elizabeth, he must really want to protect her from the law. Okay. There's a lot of evidence there that was completely and utterly unconnected to what Archibald was doing. Do I talk to him again?
There is no use.
I have one last question. Why?
Why what? Why I would risk everything to help Lizzie?
Exactement.
Because she is family. If you were in that position, you would do the same.
I can assure you, monsieur, that I would not.
Then perhaps that says something about you, Detective. I would do anything for her. For any of my staff.
Even if it means crossing the boundaries of the law.
Without question.
The lengths that Monsieur Sterling would go to protect someone he considers family is admirable, but when those lengths break the very laws that are in place to protect the innocent, they cannot be ignored. But, yeah, okay, well, we still don't know exactly what's happened, really. We've just got his word about what's happened. We've got his word about Elizabeth's word. But we know it was a defensive strike from someone who is no longer a suspect. So it's fairly reasonable to believe it. Which backs up everything else. So she's the innocent party in that, well, kind of, but she was attacked.